Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this webinar titled Multifaculty Research Network Coordination and Management. Actually, I believe this is the last webinar that we are going to have under the project from the Helsinki side because we are going to soon end the project with the end of this year. And we have been having a lot of this kind of experience sharing sessions throughout the last 3 years, not only from Helsinki. We also had a very nice series of webinars from University of Milan as well. Under the OH Boost project, I think we had a lot of experiences, actually personally for myself as well as all the others who are involved in the project, gained through this kind of experience sharing sessions. We also had some on-ground sessions in Helsinki as well as in Milan. So I hope we can continue the same in the coming years with different mode. That's what we are, I think, planning to do in the future to continue our collaborations and cooperation. So today we have two eminent speakers with us. Actually, one Tino Johansson, who's joining with us for the first time under the OH Boost seminars. So he is the coordinator of the Helsinki Institute of Sustainable Sciences. And I think he has a lot to share with us about how to coordinate and manage multi-faculty, multidisciplinary projects, especially multi-faculty and multidisciplinary approaches are very, very important under the One Health projects, especially we are working on different aspects from human to animal to environment. And also we have Topi Tanskanen, who has been working with us for the last 3 years under the One Health Boost, who was actually coordinating the different aspects of the OH Boost activities from the Helsinki end. So shall I leave the floor for Topi to say something and then start the webinar?
Yeah. Yes, thanks a lot, Suranga. Thanks for all the other administrative support for putting this together. Yes, so I asked to have a few words about my motivation for inviting Tino and what is this session in my mind about. So the aim of the OH Boost has, of course, primarily been to support strengthening One Health research in Estonian, especially in the Tartu area, and also strengthening the connections between Helsinki and Milan. Now we are having this session on multifaculty research, multifaculty it seems to be indeed, not multidisciplinary research networks. So, of course, one obvious choice would have been to talk about Helsinki One Health as a parallel organization. But as Suranga told you, we have been working together for more than 5 years, so you know us in and out. You have seen Olli, Tarja, Heli, myself presenting our structure many, many times. So that would not have been maybe a very interesting angle to this. But we have many, many other networks. Maybe internationally, one reason is the current funding calls that usually target collaborative multidisciplinary actions, but also specifically in Finland, you may have heard this word profile or profiling actions. The Finnish, the Academy of Finland or the Academy of Sciences is funding quite strongly universities to bring like focal areas of strength. And that started about 10 years ago. The first organization that was established in Helsinki is HiLife. We have seen multiple presenters from that institute in this series. And HiLife was established like as a faculty level organization. They have their own budget, they appoint their own people, and they are free from the teaching duties and that kind of responsibilities. So they have been very strong. It can be seen as a luxurious environment for those who get in there, but it can also create envy among those who are not getting in there. But then anyway, Helsinki University noticed that when the profiling action went on and on, that if they establish like 4 faculty level institutes every 2 years, things are going to run completely out of hands. So all the networks that have been established since are much lighter. Some of them are nowadays explicitly, like for example, 6-year projects aimed to end once the project funding is over. And then there are all kinds of hybrid formats in between. And in my eyes, HELSUS, the Helsinki Institute for Sustainable Sciences, has always been like maybe if at least among the very strongest, if not the strongest, besides HiLife. And they have also had a very interesting organizational history, going through various debates, reforms, not least during this very year. And Tino has been at the center of these changes. And I'm sure HELSUS has had a lot to discuss about how to find the best format to survive and to be strong in all the turbulences that are around us. And then also I know Tino has been coordinating the Helsinki University Taita Research Station in Africa for a long time, and I have been told that that Tino's role was absolutely seminal in many of the Horizon and other big funding applications that were successful and very multidisciplinary in nature. So I thought from this background, Tino would be a very interesting visitor to start telling their story and his views, and then from there on, I think we can move into discussion. What are the current plans in Estonia? Are there any lessons learned? I can also comment about how we see Helsinki Onehealth currently and what we think about our future. But with this introduction, I would ask Tino to pick the microphone and tell us about the story of HELSUS.
Thank you very much, Topi, and all other colleagues for inviting me to this seminar. I would like to ask how much time do I have? How many minutes?
It seems the calendar invitation was for 1.5 hours. I think you can eat from that as much as you find necessary. I don't think you will be speaking for 1.5 hours.
No, that is not my intention. I will then start with the story of HELSUS and then move on to the challenges and opportunities for cross-faculty collaboration, if that is fine with you. So let me try to share first the slides here about HELSUS. I hope you can now see the slide. So I started as a research coordinator at HELSUS in 2023, so I'm still relatively new in the research network. It was founded in 2018 based on the identified need across 7 faculty collaborators that the university requires to have an institute that serves research purposes for supporting sustainability transitions, not only at the academia, but also in the society at large. So since 2018, this research network has grown from 7 faculties into the 11 faculties, which actually cover all the faculties at the University of Helsinki, as well as the Finnish Museum of Natural History. We identify them as members, even though there is not any more official membership, but we serve their targets and objectives towards sustainability, research collaboration, and education. And our slogan at the network is intellectual power for sustainability transitions. Here I would like to underline the word sustainability transitions because the overall objective of the network is to broaden understanding about the concept and content of sustainability, because there's a wide spectrum of viewpoints what sustainability actually means. And I have to admit that there's a broad variety of understanding across the faculties, even within one university. So we are a hub for sustainability research, as I tried to underline, and currently for person members, we have about, well, now when we had the final round of revisions, we have about 580 researchers, starting from the doctoral researchers all the way to the full professor person members. And they come from all the faculties of this university. About the members, we currently have about 180 doctoral researchers who are the first level of members that we accept. Unfortunately, we don't have any members who are doing their master's degree or bachelor degree because there was a organizational decision made in 2018 that we only have these members who have started their doctoral degree studies, and also postdoctorals and other university staff. In the coordination unit, which is relatively small, we have approximately 5 person years in total. I am the only one who is full-time paid, and then the director currently has 50% time allocation for this position of directorship. And then we have also from the university services, we have one coordinator that helps us in many practical organizations, arrangements, contractual issues, booking the venues, and also we have people who help us in communication, preparing the newsletters and updating the website and so on. So as a university-wide research network, we are also supporting the university's strategic choices. And the University of Helsinki aims to be a leader in sustainability and responsibility. So we have these, targets that we have set for the university-wide strategy until the 2030. So we aim to be an attractive hub of sustainability science. It's not a very old discipline, but it's very interdisciplinary and normative and seeks for solutions. So it's a solution-oriented research discipline. And it's important that based on the close connections between research and education, we are not just targeting research as such, but we are also promoting education throughout all the degree programs of the University of Helsinki. So in collaboration with the Faculty of Education, the Pedagogic Center of the University of Helsinki, there has been 3 online courses established by our collaborators, which are now included in over 18 degree programs as an obligatory course. So these students will get exposed to the basic understanding of sustainability science and the paradigms, as well as some of the methodological aspects of it. So we hope through this kind of a collaboration to produce experts who steer the world towards sustainability and responsibility. And then hopefully this research, what the scientists do in the academia, can also be disseminated to different stakeholders, different right holders across the country, across the region and Europe and globally as well, for supporting the decision making. This is a snapshot of the publications from the in-person members of HELSUS from 2022 and 2024, which is based on those publications that you can find in the Web of Science. And this is a cloud of co-occurrence of words. And we use the Helsinki University research database to capture this word co-occurrence. And from this, we have removed the word sustainability. We have removed the words of science and scientific research and stuff, because they are evidently a part of all the applications or the publications that we have had. So this clearly indicates the broad diversity of our network, because it involves people from the Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Humanities, to the Faculty of Science, Faculty of Agriculture and Forestry, Faculty of Pharmacy, Faculty of Law, Faculty of Theology. So these small circles that you see in the image, we have just zoomed into the most common ones, but using this image, you can also zoom in deeper to find out the publication words that are not so many, but there are still a broad variety. So we have updated the research teams into a very broad teams so that we don't have a geographical limitations. We are studying these teams not only in the Arctic region or Antarctic region, but throughout different latitudes, from east to west, from north to south. And as this will explain, the focus of research collaboration is to move out from the disciplinary silos and get acquainted with other researchers from faculties that you don't know yet. So to facilitate interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary research, we are using these teams to sort of like pool different people together to find innovative and effective research proposals that help us move towards the sustainability transitions. And there are also methodological aspects in it. So it's not enough if you just repeat research using your old methods, but interdisciplinary and especially transdisciplinary require also update of the new methods that you apply in research. So we all know the very alarming situation of our planet, and we often show this image actually from the Stockholm Resilience Center, originating from there, or from the Potsdam Institute of Climate Impact Research, which highlights that already 7 out of these planetary boundaries have been breached. The latest one of these is the acidification of the oceans on the lower right-hand side of the image. So these are the things that we have to also address when we think about research focuses, but we are not limiting our members' own research agendas at all, but we are just promoting those ideas that they come about and advertise them to the other colleagues across the university, so that we help them to find collaboration from the faculty to another. And another aspect that we are really informing our members is this strong sustainability aspect, which differs a little bit from the dimensions of sustainability that were introduced during the Rio conference in 1980s, late 1980s, because there the actual sustainability was based on these 3 pillars, which can be traded off between each other. So the weak sustainability concept understands sustainability as a phenomenon where you can increase economic growth at the cost of natural capital, for example. But in the strong sustainability, the biosphere or the nature is considered as the foundation upon all the well-being and economic growth. So there cannot be any trade-offs. All the economics and societies have to understand that we cannot deplete the natural resource base which all life depends on, but we have to respect and find new ways to maintain well-being and health without reducing the ecosystem health in the same time. We are very diverse, as I already tried to highlight, and polyphonic. So we often, when we organize any types of activities, we point out that this is a safe space where everyone can have their voice heard. There is no tolerance of any kind of misbehavior in terms of criticism. Of course, academic criticism is okay, but it should not reflect on any other types of criticism which is not based on science. We organize these type of events to bring together different people from different faculties and disciplinary backgrounds. The brown bag lunch is open also for people outside from the university and from other universities of the country. And these are all organized in a way that we have a presenter that is presenting the most recent research project or the research results. And then after the presentation, we have a discussant coming from another faculty, not from the faculty where the presenter is from, so that we get this dialogue started by an insight from other perspectives and other disciplines for the presenter. And then there is an open question and answer session for all the participants after the discussant has given his comments. We also have this annual international conference, Science for Sustainability. It used to be Sustainability Science Days earlier, but this year it was renamed and organized in Helsinki, covering also broad aspects of science. And it was preceded by this solution days that was a one-day workshop at the Aalto University, which is a co-organizer of the conference with University of Helsinki. And the Solution Day brought together businesses, cities and municipalities, and different types of unions and associations to discuss selected gaps and selected, how would I put it, selected challenges that certain sustainability issues are trying to solve. And it is still ongoing work, and they have published papers and a newspaper article reflecting to the outputs of this Solution Day. We also organize a collaborative seminar between University of Helsinki, HELSUS, and the Finnish Environmental Institute and Natural Resource Institute of Finland. This autumn, the seminar targeted the economics in sustainability transitions, bringing together three different perspectives of economics and how economics can help us find solutions for these challenges globally and locally. Then we have had Global Encounters seminar series focusing on the Global South aspects of sustainability and development. It has usually targeted social sciences and economics, as well as political ecology related teams. And then our members also, they make these video series. They have blogs. They maintain different types of audiovisual materials that are shared across the membership network. A little bit about the education. As I already mentioned, we have had these 3 courses established where you first have a very brief 15-minute online course, a self-study course where you can get training on the sustainability issues. And this is also targeted for the staff members, and it's available in Swedish, Finnish, and English. And when people apply in-person membership of our network, we ask that, have you already taken this course? If you have not, please take the course before you apply membership. So that helps people to at least get to the same level of the concepts and understand a little bit of how differently people can see what sustainability means and how you can then utilize that information in your daily activities at the university and beyond. Then we have a little bit more extended one European credit system course towards sustainability expertise, which is based on the course that was originally made for the students, and that is also available in 3 different languages, and it's an online course. Then there is support for pedagogical research, and there is a nationwide network for teachers for sustainability, and Helsinki is a member in that. This is just an aspect of the sustainability course. For your information, maybe you are not so interested in this, but I just want to show the thematic modules here because they are important for cross-faculty collaboration also in higher level education, because there you bring together expertise from different research groups and from different faculties. So there's urbanization, there's climate change, there's also food systems and health, and also well-being, and then the environmental aspects of this sustainability. So as a network, we don't have a huge budget, but every year from our own coordination unit operational budget, we have tried to put aside a little bit of euros so that we can open a call for our members to suggest initiatives for sustainability. And we also review all these suggestions and then select the ones that we financially support, but we also provide in-kind support for all the members and faculties, whether they want to organize a science-based sustainability event. It may be targeted to the academic audience, or it may be targeted to non-academic audience. So we help them to plan, we help them to think about the content, to make sure that the most critical aspects of sustainability are covered, and we help them to advertise, we help them to book the space, organize the catering, sometimes even organize the travel of keynote speakers. And then we also support publishing materials in different languages for the stakeholders or the end users. And this year we have supported, for example, translation of a book into Portuguese so that it can be shared with the Brazilian research collaborators and the municipalities there. And we also publish policy briefs to engage our researchers with these aspects of influencing policy decisions through knowledge-based information. So this was the HELSUS presentations that I wanted to briefly share. And if I have time, I'd also like to give you time for questions before I go for these challenges of cross-faculty collaboration and also opportunities that we have learned under the RESET profiling area, but also in collaboration with HELSUS network collaborators. Thank you.
Thank you, Tino. So do we have any questions from the participants? You can ask by raising your hand, or you can even type in our chat box as well. Yes, Alidas, I can see you have raised your hand already.
I didn't get it very well. It was actually very interesting for me particularly, because we are trying to establish a center at the moment in our university, a center for Onehealth. And for that, they're looking at the way that your center was working and how you are organizing it, especially the idea that you have at the beginning, you ask everyone that join in, they should have this course, sustainability course. And that was a very nice, interesting idea. But I didn't get it very well. Is this center that you have only limited to one university, or you have faculties or the other universities all around the world, or the other places be also a part of your center?
Thank you, sir, for the good question. We are just having members from our own university at the moment. So the institute is serving the University of Helsinki internally. But we have collaborations with different ministries inside Finland, and also we collaborate with other interest groups and cities. So we are not limiting this support for sustainability transformations or transitions only to the academic peer, but we also disseminate and share information outside. And when we plan research proposals together with different researchers from the University of Helsinki, we also help them to get engaged to stakeholders outside academia. So at the moment, for example, we are working in a proposal helping one of the members to lead a flagship proposal, which is an international research proposal for 8 years. And there we are supporting them to find business partners and also find research collaboration in different parts of the Europe and world. So administratively, we are only working inside the University of Helsinki. So the faculties that we are serving are only within the University of Helsinki and the Museum of Natural History.
Thank you very much.
Topi, I think you have a comment or question probably.
Yes, Tino. So unless maybe you will go into this in your second part, but if not, I wanted to ask a bit about the formal basis of HELSUS. Like, is it based on like rector's decision or board decision? Do you have some kind of bylaws, or who, for example, has the authority to appoint the director, or who have seats in the steering committee and stuff like that? What is that based on?
Okay, thank you, Topi. Yeah, I didn't include that into my presentation, but it's a very valid question. So if I briefly explain the structure of HELSUS, we are funded directly by the rector of the University of Helsinki. So all our current funding comes from the rector. And we have a director that is appointed by the rector, but the nomination process of the director depends on the recommendation of the steering group. And HELSUS steering group consists of nominated members from all the faculties and from the Finnish Museum of Natural History. So we have representation from 12 different units, and they prepared the process of nomination for the director. And then they suggested the nominated persons to be interviewed, and then it was also the vice rector of the university that participated in the interviews of the director. So the director represents HELSUS in the University of Helsinki, but we have a steering group that is discussing matters related to budget, action plan, annual report, and collaborative issues regarding to research. So the director is presenting the plans to the steering group, and the steering group that works for 4 years intervals are nominated also by the director, so they help to coordinate and manage HELSUS at the University of Helsinki. And we are yet to establish another organ into the managerial structure that is called collaborative group. We are setting now the rules how the nomination or elections for the members of that group will be formed. But as the new director of HELSUS starts in the 1st of January 26, he will then discuss this with the rector, how we go about the establishment of the cooperative group alongside to support the director in research collaboration.
Great, Esaias, please.
Yeah, you mentioned, actually, this is very interesting to me also, the structure, how you're somehow putting the whole structure of the center together. And you mentioned you are also helping with the collaboration and particularly grant applications and other things. If there is any, I mean, success in the applications that you make and that grant would be funded and so, do you have this rule or regulation that portion of the overheads or such kind of things be dedicated to your center, or they don't have it? Always your budget just is directly coming from the rector, it is a set amount, or do you have such a thing that if you are in the center, you're part of the grant or part of the overhead should be dedicated to the center expenses?
The University of Helsinki has certain rules about the use of external funding, and currently the rules don't allow any overheads to be taken away from the faculties where the external funding is directed to the HELSUS research network. So we only operate on the basis of the rector's contribution to our operational funding. So we don't get any overheads, despite the number of successful proposals that we help to put together. And that is a challenge that has been criticized, but it is based on the how do you put this? These rules of operations at the university, how the faculties operate. So all the funding goes to the faculties, and then they use the money as they have informed in the application. But the way how we get added value is that some of those applications, they contain salaries for personnel, and then they join at least certain percentage of their annual working hours to join the coordination team, and then they help us also to organize and do research related support throughout the project, and also they serve the overall objectives of HELSUS. Currently we have one funding from the Kone Foundation for 3 years, and one of the project planners from that team is sitting next to us in the same office and helping us to also increase the media collaboration from the sustainability aspects. So their project is targeting the national media and the broadcasting companies, and they bring journalists to training and to discuss on how sustainability related research outcomes could be more visible in the national media. And they also train the journalists from different publishing houses and different TV channels through this. So this is a little bit of the bridging of the received research project funding and the HELSUS network in the way how we operate the systems.
But if I understood correctly, if you had the choice of having the proportion of the overheads, that would be your preferred option?
Definitely. Yes, we would really hope this to happen, and we have discussed this with the deans, and we have discussed this with the rectorate, and they just straight underline that it's not possible that we increase our budget from the external funding, and that is somehow tying our hands as well. So we cannot grow in terms of coordination staff hours because the externally funded projects don't allow people to do something else than what you have been requesting for in your research proposal. But earlier years, until 2024, we had an agreement with the faculties that they provided research funding for the network, and we were able to open postdoctoral positions, 4 of them, for 2 years using this funding. But now, after the rector revised the organization of HELSUS, from an institute to a research network, then we lost the faculty funding for postdoctoral researchers, and now we don't have that instrument anymore. But really, it's a very valid and important question because it's all about resources and sustainability of the organization as such, because the costs are increasing all the time, not only the space cost, but also other material and energy and so on, and salary increases. So how do we sustain the coordination unit in the long term? And that is something where we are going to find at least success solutions with the new director from next year onwards to discuss with the rector that how we can really utilize the existing opportunities in research to find resources for the coordination as well. But so far they have been quite reluctant on changing the existing structure of all the fund goes to the faculties, and that's the end of the story.
Thank you very much. It solves a lot of questions. Although later I come also to the autonomy and independence and what is your opinion. But definitely it is good to hear your experience, especially for us that we want to start this new. And if we can establish it as you are mentioning, maybe we wouldn't do the same, or we don't have the same problems that you have now.
Yeah, that is nice to hear. And the reasons why the University of Helsinki decided to get rid of the institute and turn them into research networks is based on this evaluation that took place a few years ago by external evaluators about the Topi, how is toiminnanjohto, toijo, how is it in English? It's like leading the operations or something like that, administrative evaluation of the University of Helsinki. And then that report recommended that running the institutes is inefficient, and the university should change the structure in a way that they become research networks which don't require so much top-down leadership, but they still serve the horizontal collaboration across the university. And that's why we lost the faculty funding, because of this implementation of the evaluation report from the management of the university.
Thank you very much, Tino. Do we have any other questions? I don't see any questions in the chat. So do you have anything else to talk about, like you mentioned at the beginning, or shall we move to Topi to hear about the Helsinki Onehealth?
Yes, I have very few slides, if Topi you allow.
I very much allow to take your time. I think this is very interesting and fresh angles for all of us. So
Okay.
Don't worry about the time, just go deep.
Okay.
I think that the part that's coming now is maybe the most interesting.
Yes. I'm not going into the details of HELSUS anymore, but I would like to share a little bit of a presentation that, let me see where, there. That was actually created by our colleagues, a former colleague, Wilma Sandström. It was presented this year in a conference in Oulu. And there are also Professor Kari Hyytiäinen, who is a member of Reset and HELSUS, creating this presentation, and the current director, Susanna Lehvävirta, from HELSUS as well. And Susanna's term is now ending in 2 weeks' time, and we have a new director next year, Christopher Raymond, from the Faculty of Biological and Environmental Sciences of the university. So I'm using this just to briefly describe what are the practical insights of fostering interdisciplinary collaboration based on the findings from HELSUS and Reset networks. So as I already pointed out in my HELSUS introduction, these complex sustainability problems require integrating knowledge across diverse perspectives and disciplines. So we cannot solve them alone in one faculty or in one discipline. Of course, basic research provides very valuable information and is critical. But when you look at these complex system-based problems, you have to bring people together to find more long-term, sustainable, and just solutions. And these are just some theoretical framework of the idea. I'm not seeing them as I need to go them through in detail, because I'm sure the participants are familiar with this interdisciplinarity already. So here the lessons learned, what I'm presenting, are based on HELSUS and RESET, what Topi has already been explaining, the profiling area. And then these are based on the Vilma's, Kari's, and Susanna's and my individual and collective experiences in participating and coordinating the activities in these networks. So this is already what I explained to you about HELSUS. And Topi, how widely have you already introduced RESET, or should we go through this?
Well, we have talked about it, but actually on the name list of participants, I see surprisingly many names that may not have attended so many of our past events. So I think you can use a few words to describe this.
Okay, excellent. So this profiling area received funding for 6 years from the Research Council of Finland, and it's part of the university's profiling area funding. So Resilient and Just Systems brings together 3 research networks at the university, HELSUS, and then Helsinki Onehealth, what Topi is representing, and then the third one is Helsinki Inequality Initiative that is led by Professor Meri Kulmala. So this RESET is established on 4 different teams, where you have the infectious diseases in changing environment. There are representatives from the Faculty of Medicine, for example, and also from other faculties. Then we have resilience and health of domestic animals and wildlife, where we have representation from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine and other faculties. Then we have sustainable food and water systems, where we have representatives from Faculty of Agriculture and Forestry, Faculty of Science, for example, as well as the 4th team, which is Paradigms for Just Socio-Ecological Change. It also overlaps with the collaboration across these 4 mentioned faculties. So I don't have the name list here or the list of faculties that are involved, so Topi can mention them in detail, but it means that we have people from the Faculty of Biological and Environmental Sciences, for example, Faculty of Social Sciences, Faculty of Science, Faculty of Medicine, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, Faculty of Pharmacy, and other faculties in this RESET profiling area. And it is also having a coordination group represented by the professors from these different faculties, and then it has a broad number of members. I don't now recall how many members it has at the moment, but I would say over 100 of researchers have joined since the beginning. So all these initiatives that we are implementing, they have this idea of supporting not only institutionally but also structurally for these interdisciplinary research collaborations and openings. And this figure is just showing out how the amount of number of people that we reach through different types of support, and what is the requirement for active facilitation. So it grows towards the right-hand side. So the most easiest, but perhaps the most covering ways for us to support this kind of interdisciplinary research collaborations is through communication. And for communication, we use different media and channels at the university. So, of course, the most evident is email communication, but they often are getting hidden under the sediments of thousands and thousands other emails. So we also use newsletters. We use these tools that you can share documents and edit the documents like the shared docs in Google or in the Microsoft Teams or other areas. Then we have these common spaces where we look at the more how would I say, more specific discussion areas which may not cover so many people but are more looking at certain aspects of collaboration, like for example when we have a specific call of funding from outside, like let's say that the Research Council of Finland is announcing a call for flagship programs, and then when they limit the thematic content, then we don't advertise that to everyone because we already do some selective actions that okay, this is not interesting to everyone, so we limit the group who we communicate, and then also select the media how we reach those people. Then the events are very important. Of course, they require more working hours from our side. Inviting people who interest researchers to come as keynotes, or organizing an agenda that is broad enough and targeted to specific collaborators, for example, are taking part in this approach. And then of course focus groups, small group discussions, both formal and informal are the ways how we support research collaboration, because informal meetings are often quite critical because there people are more relaxed and perhaps more open to share their ideas for innovative collaboration rather than in a very formal arrangements. So this is just showing a little bit about the communication that I already covered a little bit. Regarding these facilitation needs, of course, we all know how much it takes time to update subscribers list when we have 11 faculties and about 600 members, especially the young scientists who come and go. They get other positions abroad, and then their email addresses are constantly changing. So it's something that requires this very manual type of labor. And also the newsletter, where we have currently had university trainees helping us to compile the newsletter, collecting information from the members, reminding them to submit their latest publication links and also event descriptions so that we can get them in every month into the newsletter. It's also time consuming, taking the photographs and so on. So what we have found is that in communication activities and the impact considerations, one way of communication is never enough. So it doesn't really help creating an agency if you just send group emails, because there's also need to facilitate a step further. If you say that now there's a chance to come and join the HELSUS coordination group for free coffee and tea, and even some vegetarian sandwiches, then people are just thinking, okay, so what's in it for me? So you need to think the next step after the event as well. So added value needs to be considered in advance. It's not just bringing people together in the same place, but there needs to be some roles and pre-planning of what you expect from that meeting and how that fosters interdisciplinary or transdisciplinary collaboration. And then it's also important to remember that everyone is an individual, and our tolerance of number of emails or information that doesn't directly concern me is changing, and some people are more reactive than the others, saying that I want to get rid of this emailing list because I get too many emails from you. So it also needs editing work and facilitation of who you send the messages and how much. But let's say that from our experiences, it is often between 5 and 10% of the total number of members that raise concerns regarding getting too much information. It is more common that they say that we didn't get the information, can you send it again? So at least 90% of the members have been quite happy about the current way that we have communicated with them. Common spaces means that we have a shared office space at the main building of the university in the same hallway where the rectors and the chancellor have their offices, and the Helsinki Innovation Services and Conference Services have their offices in the same hallway. So we have a room for all the in-person members where they can come and use whenever they wish, if space allows. There are currently seats and computers available, and screens, and these docks for charging and using the internet and Wi-Fi, as well as the break room, which has free coffee, tea, and a kitchen where people can prepare their own lunches and meals. And this is quite important because as we don't limit who can come and who can go, as long as you are a member, and even without the key, you can come and knock on the door and sit wherever you want and share this day with people who you may not know before. The feedback from our members has been very positive regarding to the need for a common hub where you can just meet people randomly without knowing who are there at the day when you enter the room and use it for your activities. The hub also has soundproof telephone booths where you can during the day have your online meetings. They don't need to be pre-booked. You just see if they are empty. You can go there and have your hybrid meeting and then return back to the office, open office. And the coffee room is soundproofed, so that there's a glass wall that separates it from the office, and you can also see from the office or who are now in the coffee room. If you want to have a chat, you can then go there because it is not booked, but anyone can have refreshments there if at any time of the day. So facilitation, what we also do for common spaces, we organize different types of informal meetings and also regular morning coffee meetings every Thursday at 9:30. We of course have some content of that meeting every now and then, but usually it's an open meeting without any pre-formulated agenda. So people can come there and even if they look for collaborators, they can mention how many and what type of collaborations in their research proposals they need, and then we help them to contact and communicate. So funding is of course the issue here. Who pays for the space? Who pays for the cost of collaboration? Interdisciplinary events, I already mentioned these examples, the brown bag lunches, the seminar and the conference, so I'm not going to repeat, but more or less I'd like to point the two main bullets here: the facilitation required and challenges. Sustainability is a very topical issue globally and in Europe and in Finland and Nordic countries as well. So even in Finland, next spring, we have 4 different conferences targeting the issues on sustainability. So we are questioning now that how many a small country like Finland should organize, because they are organized by different universities, sometimes even by ourselves. At the Helsinki, we may have 3 different seminars targeting sustainability issues in the spring term only. So it's the critical mass of people who you invite to the conferences, especially when there's an entrance fee, is limited. So especially younger researchers don't have so huge budgets in their proposals, that they can attend 3 seminars costing 200 euros each. So there may be an overload of these meetings. So coordination is required. How many, when, what is the timing, and what is the thematic content, what is the target group that you want to bring to the conference, as well as the same for the seminars. And that is not an easy challenge to solve, because we are independent research groups who want to organize their own seminars, and as 3 networks we also have our own seminars, but under RESET profiling area we have combined our forces now for this Brownback lunch events, which are co-organized, and they bring topics from all aspects of the RESET foundation. So this is an example from the RESET Waterfood thematic group number 3, how they have approached this kind of a community of researchers, how they have supported it. They started by brainstorming the needs of wishes for those who are members in this project. Of course, they openly invited people for this session before organizing it, and then compiling the results from the brainstorming session, they established networking activities, small groups, or even person to person. And then through this networking, there was a creating of research questions that are key for this team number 3 under the RESET profiling area. And then, of course, the next steps are utilizing this information that they have collected. So focus groups here actually are very important. At HELSUS we have a professor pool. It consists the most active ones from the 88 professors that we currently have as in-person members, and they are meeting every 6 weeks time to discuss on research related openings and needs for support. And then HELSUS coordination unit is doing our best to meet those suggestions and the guidelines from the most active professors, because they represent different research groups from different faculties. And then we have these, as already discussed, the facilitation of the funding proposals. And of course, it's time consuming, and researchers often have interest but limited time. So when you want to find a principal investigator for an EU Horizon call, not so many hands are up when you ask the volunteers, because it requires a lot of time to coordinate it. But our task is to help in this process. And also people are dropping out and also moving out from the university to other positions, so there is always a big effort, and the no-show rate is also increasing. Even after COVID closures, the no-show ratio it can be even 25%, which is quite frustrating. But yes, I would like to conclude with these 2 slides, how we have found out that how these interdisciplinary collaborations can be the best facilitated. Of course, you need personnel, you need time and funding, especially now when the venue costs are increasing. And also, if you want to serve people some refreshments, small or large quantities, that also is quite costly. And also transportation if you move outside the neighborhood. So we have found out these 2 different approaches. So we combine the passive methods and active forms, and these are balanced in the way, depending on the season and the time of the year, how much other work and tasks we have on our desks. Of course, the end of the year is the most challenging one, when you have all the research proposal reporting, what you have done. Also submitting the new research proposals for funding, that is the time of it, especially the European Horizon calls, which are in February, and the Research Council of Finland applications are in the beginning of December, and so on. So these are very challenging times, but yeah, we try to serve our members' needs as best as we can, so that they can anytime use an electronic form to approach us, send a request, or either for financial support or in-kind support of any kinds of activities that they do in research, education, or societal impact regarding the RESET or HELSUS collaboration. So that was all I had. Thank you for listening. And now I think it's again time for questions. So Topi, shall you take up onto you?
Is it if people have direct questions to you based on this presentation, maybe it's good to go through that. If there are none, then okay, yes, Alireza, please go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, I am trying to find how to do the raising of the hand and all over there. Yeah, it's very interesting, and actually, I think if everything goes right here, I need to have more connection, Tino, with you and learn from you the experiences that you have and how the whole system works and so. But it is definitely, I think it's really challenging what you guys do to be able to somehow we know. First of all, do you have enough, I mean, applications or other activities all year round to be able to feed to all these different professors and everyone that is coming there? So that would be satisfying, because then it's only Horizon Europe that you are focusing, or are there other also potential streams that is coming in and working with industry or such kind of thing? So how you keep all these guys occupied or fed, let's say it like that?
Well, also a very interesting question. My answer should be very honest one. As I mentioned, we only have 5-person years in our coordination unit, so of course we need to prioritize where our time can meet the demand. And we carried out internal evaluation of the HELSUS network in 2023, just in the year when I joined. And as an outcome, the members gave us a list of 150 suggestions what we should do in the coming year's time. And of course, when we saw the list, we were like, okay, you would need a lot of more resources and persons to meet all these needs. But then we started prioritizing and seeing how we can at least slowly move towards serving at least the 30 most critical suggestions that the members want our support for. The calls are there, and we also have university-based research support units. So we are not alone in this complexity of calls for proposals, but our role is more to look at those calls and proposals that are targeting sustainability science or more in-depth sustainability research, because there are groups that are working very independently without even informing us that they are forming a consortium and applying. So in this research network, sometimes we even hear very late that, okay, there are already these consortium formed and there is no need to establish a competing application, because we know that that will eat the time resources from us because there are already so good applicants. So it's either an opportunity or challenge in this kind of a research network approach that HELSUS is working, because sometimes you don't even know what your members are doing because they don't communicate that to you. And I think it's either a richness or how would I say, a limitation of our time use, because I have had personal cases where I have advertised an opportunity for collaboration very broadly and only few responses, and then it also shows that, okay, if there are few responses, then maybe there are already competing groups setting up their proposals for the same call. So communication is key, but of course, that is the nature of networks, that we are happy that there are these different, if you use a nature example, we are happy that there are different flowers blooming in the same field at the same time or at different times. And we still want to foster that everyone has a room. We don't want to be a limiting factor in this research funding mobilization, but more like an extra asset or an extra tool for the researchers to approach when they need support. So that upon demand, we do as much as we can, and then we help them to find other experts at the universities who are specializing in certain types of funding calls. For example, we have full-time employees at the University of Helsinki who are helping scientists to apply for Marie Curie proposals or the ECR funding, or let's say mobility funding if they want to visit laboratories across the Atlantic, for example. There are these type of personnel as well. So we are also helping them to navigate the big directory of other support units of Helsinki University to help especially the younger researchers to find the right persons who helps them at the right time.
Thank you. I'm just thinking that considering your size and how big it is, and yeah, if from one side, fine, but from the other side, also the fact that your budget and so is always somehow constrained by what the rector would give to you, not by the success that you have. I think in long term, it is going to be an issue for you.
Yeah, I agree. And also we have to provide evidence of the impact that we have for the university. So there are also other competing networks who are studying a little bit climate, let's say not little bit climate, but related issues that are part of the whole sustainability aspects of the planet. And then collaborating with those ones, as we have seen now in, for example, in the reset profiling area, is critical because we can provide support from each other rather than competing inside the university from the meager resources and stuff. So I'm not sure if this current structure, how we are operating, is going to sustain us beyond 2030. That is as long as the rector has provided funding for us, and therefore we are starting new discussions on how we will resource ourselves after the rector's funding, if it's not going to continue, because as you nicely put, the rectors also change. It will not be the same person after the few years time. So maybe the rector decides, the new rector may decide that, okay, I will not fund that anymore. So then we don't have any resources. And it depends on how well we can discuss with the deans. I think if you are establishing also a new center, then support from the different faculty deans is critical. Of course, they also change from time to time. In Helsinki, they are elected every 4th year. So this year we already have now 6 new deans joining out of the 11 faculties. So we have to reopen the discussions with them and to see if there is any ways how they see it important to support us also financially.
Thank you. Definitely, I would get your door in future. I'm learning a lot.
Thank you, Tino, for your interesting talk. Also, I learned a lot about what are the challenges actually you're facing when you're operating or coordinating a kind of a large research cohort, which is very, very interesting, like Alireza mentioned. So, Topi, I think it's time for you to share something on the Helsinki Onehealth, I believe, if you have anything extra to share with us.
Well, I mean, there would be so much to comment on. Firstly, on the substance, like how close Onehealth and sustainability actually are, and then also these practical measures of how to actually engage people. But maybe I pick one thing which to me is the big question here, that when you have a network or an institute, an organization, how independent do you want it to be? Because like Tino was telling, of course, those of us who are inside the network, we would like to be independent, have our own funding, receive our own funding, right for that, right to allocate it. But then the higher you climb up in that game, then if you grow to the level of faculty, then you start competing for the resources with the faculties. Like Tino was explaining, that HELSUS used to receive funds from all the member faculties, but then the faculties withdrew that. Well, what exactly happened on that, I don't know. But I think the thing is obvious. The money has been once allocated to the faculties by the rectors and the university decision-making bodies, and the faculties want to then keep with them what they have. So who wants to hold the power? I really regret we don't have Olli here, because Olli Peltoniemi, our current dean, has been fundamental for building up our Onehealth network, but then during the process he also grew up to the position of dean, and we can clearly hear how he is now seeing the point of view of the central administration, and I really understand his struggles with the faculty budgets as well. But if I then compare the solutions of these networks, Tino, you have been saying that you only have 5 people manpower. Can you imagine how deeply I envy you for that? Because we have me. We don't have any common physical space. We don't have any funding from any sources. So we are ultra light. But on the other hand, it's slightly different. Sustainability, you clearly define your goals so that they are affecting the entire university. We are still a little bit more on the health, nutrition, food dimension. And apparently we are very strongly affiliated with one faculty. There's no question from inside or outside that the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine is our home faculty. We don't have any rule books. It is basically what the faculty decides to be, and then we collaborate intensively with the neighboring faculties, and I think they are happy to join our activities. But it is a light solution. It is very difficult to kill us. But on the other hand, we don't have fundamental resources. And like you said, we are dependent on the rectors. We are also dependent on the deans. So I really don't know whether we should have a rule book. Rule books can be changed if the management changes. So I don't know if that would help. But as a practical solution, I think what is making us now more solid is the thing that we are working on a Onehealth Master's program. That if we kind of have a dedicated degree program focusing on Onehealth, which is strongly built on this network that has been built through, then we have like a solid body that makes it more difficult to suddenly eliminate us. And I think, a really critical point in the end you made was about demonstrating our usefulness. We have now existed for 5-6 years as Una Europa, and we have done some funding proposals as a network as such. But more and more we are seeing how people who met in our networks have become partners and are now receiving funding, big funds, collaborative funds, that are not directly anymore managed by us, but it can be said with quite high certainty that those people would never have found each other and their scientific synergies if they had not collided. And how do we? Nobody has an obligation to report to me that they wrote an application with someone with whom they had coffee in a Helsinki Onehealth event. So how do we keep track of that? I mean, university administration definitely listens to numbers, and they love money. So if you can show to them that because of our network we are getting big money flowing in, we will be supported. But how to demonstrate that? I think that's maybe the most vital aspect for sustainability. I mean, it's not difficult with this word sustainability. We mean 2 things: how to keep our planet sustainable, but how to make networks that don't just pop up and die. But for me, maybe currently my view is that the solution is there, that we continuously make effort to prove that we are useful, not only for the core members who join and obviously enjoy and see the benefits, but also upwards. I think those were the main dimensions I wanted to comment on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Topi. Yeah. So do we have anything else from the audience? Any comments, any questions, anything to add up?
It was very useful to me to hear this is somehow the future, and also seeing that how even such, how can I say, even sustainability of such kind of centers and how to form it and where are the issues and how it would go. And yeah, both of you actually, to hear from Tino and also from Topi, the way that he also, the problems and the other issues that he's involved with. No, thank you very much. It was great.
It's Tino. I think you have something to tell.
Yes, thank you. I would like to also follow a little bit what Topi was summarizing. We have had challenges also on finding evidence on what is the impact of these informal and formal meetings that we arrange, because sometimes the deans, they wanted us to compile not only all the publications that have indicated the HELSUS membership affiliation in the publications itself, but also in the external money that we have brought. Because it's critical that when you have memberships that people apply for, that you remind for the members that every time you publish, every time you get successful funding applications through, kindly remember to state that this is affiliated to our network, because otherwise in the databases you cannot find this quantitative evidence on number of euros or number of publications if people don't remember to indicate that they also have this membership of HELSUS beyond their faculty memberships, because automatically every time you publish, the faculty is visible there, but then they can tick a cross in the box saying that I'm also a HELSUS or HOH or INEC or RESET member. And together with the new director, we are now starting to develop ideas how we can document also the impact of this bringing people together, because it's very challenging to document it. Perhaps it's more qualitative of style, asking people to describe how they experience this collaboration and what were the ways leading to a successful proposal through the facilitation of networking. But to say this, there are different ideas already. I'm not going to say them out loud, but we need to find out also ways how the collaboration with non-academic partners can be documented, not only in terms of monetary sense, but what kind of benefits they get from the academia for the decision making or for improving their business sustainability. Not only in growth of capital, but in terms of the respect for nature, biodiversity, restoration of habitats, and so on.
Thank you very much. So if you don't have any other comments or questions, shall I thank on behalf of the OH Boost team to Tino as well as to Topi, especially for Topi for proposing this workshop and getting in touch with Tino and bringing him into the webinar. So I think we all learned something new about the management as well as coordination of large-scale projects or the centers, especially where the multi-faculty and multidisciplinary aspects are involved. So I think we learned a lot, and like Alirisa mentioned, probably we'll come back to you in the future to learn more even, especially if we are successful in getting Estonian Onehealth Center established sooner, so that we can always share the experience and learn from each other to navigate in the future endeavors. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining with us. I think this would be our last webinar under the OH Boost project, but of course, obviously, we will continue our efforts to share more on these aspects in the future, maybe in a different format, because we believe that this will bring us more kind of insights and new knowledge to navigate in our different situations that we face when we are working on different aspects of the Onehealth as well as in multidisciplinary platforms. So thank you very much and have a very good day, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. See you. Bye-bye.